you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you, And in the fight, of course, it's different.
It was a great fight. At the end of the day, the people in boxing won, and it's a great fight, and we get to see it again. And then after that, hopefully, I get the winner.
Because I have some issues, I want to heal myself and then move forward again. Doesn't matter, trilogy, Benavidez, Canela, or I just, as always, I'm just waiting offer.
Dmitry Bivol has been called out by David Benavidez, who has stated that he wants a confrontation. Leaked film of a previous sparring session between the two has surfaced, adding to the excitement. Sparring is usually private and intended for skill improvement rather than public evaluation. But according to sources, a 17-year-old Benavidez was able to compete with the more seasoned Bivol. Debate has been generated by the disclosure, with some contending that the video may not accurately depict a fighter's actual skills. Speaking about the video, Bivol commended Benavidez's skill and self-assurance, pointing out that both had strong points while putting their skills to the test. Fans are now questioning if this battle will truly take place because Benavidez is eager for major challenges. He underlined that, in accordance with Bivol, sparring is only a training exercise in which fighters test out different tactics rather than aiming for complete supremacy. He clarified that sparring and a real fight are entirely different situations. In a real fight, Bivol explained, a boxer must make quick adjustments and cannot afford to waste time on techniques that are not working, unlike sparring, where fighters focus on specific drills regardless of their effectiveness. A fight demands immediate adaptability, while sparring showcased moments of skill from both sides. Fighters use these sessions to apply their coach's instructions, sometimes succeeding in one round and struggling in another. Bivol thinks that competing professionally against Benavidez would provide a whole other set of difficulties.
Respect him as a fighter. He's a really great fighter, and what he's saying that he wants to fight me and Benavidez, it means that he's a great fighter. He's confident and he wanna achieve more and more. It's good, and what I could tell.
Do you remember the sparring with David?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had a couple of sparrings. I remember it was some of good moments from my side.
In a post-fight interview following his arduous triumph over Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol answered questions regarding his future. Bivol, who is now the undisputed light heavyweight champion, considered his accomplishment and emphasized the value of savoring the present before deciding on a strategy. Although he was open to any challenge, he acknowledged that he was dealing with some physical difficulties that needed to be resolved before he could return to the ring. Bivol stated that he is prepared for any future fight, whether it be a rematch with Canelo Alvarez, a trilogy matchup with Beterbiev, or a bout with David Benavidez. In response to a specific question regarding Benavidez, Bivol said he prioritizes matches that the boxing community and fans want and has no preference for his next opponent. Additionally, he made a suggestion that he might advance to cruiserweight, demonstrating his dedication to always pushing himself to the limit.
Some of good moments from my side, some good moments from his side. But it's sparring. Sparring, it's sparring. You do some things which coach told you. You should do this and this, and you are trying one round. You couldn't do it. Another round you try to do this. It couldn't. On the third round, you can do it once only, and you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you. And in the fight, of course, it's different. In the fight, they ask you to do something. You will not waste your time if it's not good.
Bivol considered his rematch as well. Acknowledging the changes he made to win, he demonstrated his ability to maintain control of the bout by outmaneuvering the strong beater Bev with his defensive discipline movement and counterpunch. His exact approach made sure he steered clear of drawn-out conversations while looking ahead. Bivol is patient and says he is waiting for offers to come his way. He also stressed that he is open to all possibilities and will accept the fight that makes the most sense, whether it's a major challenge or a trilogy with better Bev. Bivol lands clean and effective shots throughout the fight. Bivol has solidified his place among the best in boxing and is ready to face any challenge that may arise.
Benavidez, possibly instead of a trilogy with Arta.
I'm open for any fight, but today I wanna enjoy that I'm undisputed champion. I wanna take care of my health because I have some issues. I wanna heal myself and then move forward again. Doesn't matter, trilogy, Benavidez, Canelo, or as always, I'm just waiting offer, and I'm saying yes.
An expert analysis of Bennett's versus Bivol demonstrates why this bout is more important than Bivol versus Canelo. A victory over Bivol would be a turning point in Bennett's career, advancing him. The greatest Mexican boxer of this era, other from Canelo Bull, who is renowned for his technical proficiency and defensive brilliance, poses a more difficult stylistic obstacle than Canelo. In contrast to Canelo, who has already lost to Benavidez, a victory over him would not only make Benavidez the best fighter at 168 pounds, but also solidify his position as a dominant force at 175 pounds. This fight will determine the future of the super middleweight and light heavyweight divisions, making it a more significant match for the boxing world than a rematch between Bivol and Canelo.
Dmitry, how do you feel about your next opponent?
I think the December it will be just amazing. Maybe earlier, maybe October. Why not?
You have a preference, David or trilogy?
I don't have any preference now, to be honest. What people wanna see, I gonna take, no problem.
Teddy Atlas outlines David Benavidez's upcoming prospects and obstacles. A fight between Benavidez and Bivol would not only be about power, it would also be about ring IQ adaptability and the ability to impose one's will over 12 rounds. One of the biggest possible opponents is Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion. Bivol poses a unique challenge and is perhaps tougher than Benavidez in some ways. He is a disciplined and precise boxer who can neutralize aggression with his movement and counterpunch.
David Benavidez versus Bivol is a way better fight than David Benavidez versus Canelo, only because if he beats Bivol, it proves that he's better than Canelo, is the best Mexican boxer, and is the best at 168 and 175.
Canelo Alvarez, the current super middleweight king, is another significant contender for Benavidez. Many people think Benavidez has been the legitimate challenger for years because of his unrelenting pressure and volume punching, which makes him a serious threat to Canelo's reign. Canelo is a skilled counterpuncher who can take advantage of openings, much like David Morrell tried but was unable to do against Benavidez. He also has a dangerous uppercut, which has worked against aggressive fighters like Benavidez in the past. Because of this, Benavidez is in a position where he doesn't always have to take the hardest shots. Financially speaking, both bouts would be huge, but if he wants to establish himself as one of the best Mexican boxers, a win over Bivol or Canelo would enhance his legacy. Nevertheless, regardless of the decision, the road ahead is difficult, and every fight at the top level is a gamble, and the course he chooses will determine his future in the sport.
I think the purer puncher probably is Morrell for one shot. He's the less experienced guy, but he's got that Cuban background, with the amateur pedigree, over 100-something fights. He's got experience. Even though he's got a lot less fights professional, he's got experience. He hasn't fought the resume professionally that Benavidez has, so that's in favor of Benavidez. The experience, always important. But also the pedigree, like I said, where he comes from, Cuba, how, you come from that island that from the beginning when you first put those gloves on, it's all about becoming a world champ.
In addition to expressing excitement about the possible fight between Dmitry Bivol and David Benavidez, Showbiz the Adult has highlighted the fight's significance for Benz's legacy. He feels that by facing Benavidez, he is boldly demonstrating his greatness and willingness to take on the hardest boxing challenges. This fight isn't just about another victory, it's about demonstrating that Benavidez can compete and defeat elite-level fighters, securing his place among the sport's best.
He says, quote, "I don't want to fight someone who doesn't mean something for my career. And the best out there now is David Morrell."
I see him coming up to 175. He's talking about it, so I'm gonna shut his ass up. And also, it would be a bigger pay-per-view if we wait later. His name is not that big, but I don't.
They just talk the way you want your fighters to talk. They're all about the smoke. They want to fight everybody. It seems like whoever would win the Morrell-Benavidez fight would get the shot. But at the end of the day, we got a guy who wants to fight a tough guy.
David Morrell is so good. David Morrell is a high-risk, low-reward fighter. You have to overpay people to step in the ring with him. If you don't overpay him, you won't get him in the ring. It's as simple as that, Jack. So, David Morrell going in 2024, one of the most exciting fighters, got an exciting style. Has a fan base in Minnesota. That's the knock on the Cubans. No international distribution on the Cuban feed because they don't show the fights. Has a fan base in Minnesota. Now we need to see the fights. Vladimir Shishkin, Christian and Billy. Any of those guys on the back end of the top 10, I want to see them in with him.
The mature Benavidez, according to Shiz, wants to demonstrate that he is more than simply a formidable opponent. He wants to demonstrate that he can overcome a champion like Bivol, who has already fought elite fighters like Canelo Alvarez. Benavidez Shiz, the adult, sees this fight as a chance to silence skeptics and demonstrate that he belongs at the top, fighting and defeating the best in the world. A victory over Bivol would not only elevate his career, but also position him as the next dominant force in boxing. He is not just looking for titles. He wants to surpass Canelo's legacy as the best Mexican fighter across multiple divisions.
And collect a big bag on my head after the fight. Like this is I'm doing with David Morrell. You know what I mean? It's the hardest fight, but I'm not scared of nobody. You know what I mean? I like I said, I embrace the challenges. So for Canelo and his fans saying that I don't bring nothing to the table, I don't do this, I don't do that, man, they're all scared, just like how he's scared. You know what I mean? And if he wants to come prove that I ain't shit, come prove it in front of everybody. It's that easy.
So I feel like it's just a bunch of excuses on his end.
It's just a bunch of excuses, bro. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of excuses and it's a bunch of pride. Because after I beat him,
it's like legacy.
What they don't like is that I'm Mexican, that I'm also Mexican, and I'm here in the United States.
Since Bivol has won his rematch against BV, all indications point to a showdown between Bivol and David Benavidez. Benavidez has been outspoken about his belief that Bivol was unfairly judged in his first fight with Bia, saying that he felt Bal should have won that fight as well.
David Benavidez versus Bivol is almost as exciting for me as Canelo versus David Benavidez. I'm not going to lie. The reason why I like it is I always liked what Evander Holyfield did when it came to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson fight Alex Stewart, I'm going to fight Alex Stewart. Mike Tyson fight Buster Douglas, I'm going to fight Buster Douglas. You can't beat Bivol, I'll whoop his ass. Not only am I showing that I beat Canelo, but I'm also showing that my legacy is important. I'm greater than Canelo. I just love that attitude.
A victory over Ball would solidify his status as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters and elevate his legacy beyond that of Canelo Alvarez, as both fighters are eager to test themselves against the best. Now that Bivol has proven his dominance in the rematch, Benavidez has made it clear that he is ready to step into the ring with him. This fight holds significant importance as Benavidez continues to rise through the weight divisions, aiming to establish himself as the best in both the super middleweight and light heavyweight classes. Fans are excitedly awaiting what might be a career-defining moment for Benavidez in his pursuit of greatness, and this clash has the potential to be one of the biggest and most thrilling fights in boxing when discussions get underway.
One, are you happy with an immediate rematch, or would you have preferred a little bit more time to rest?
No, I'm so appreciate that I have the chance, and I cannot let myself to think that it's not good time, or it's not good this that. No, I'm happy that I have a chance. Not too much people has a chance and to have rematch, but I have it, and I'm glad.
David Benavidez is prepared to fight whoever wins the rematch between Dmitry Bivol and BBV, according to Jose Benavidez Senior. However, he has stated that he strongly prefers Bivol as the next opponent because of BVB's stellar record of defeating elite fighters like Canelo Alvarez. Ben Aid Sr. believes that if David defeats Bivol, he has surpassed Canelo, further establishing his status as the best Mexican fighter in multiple weight classes.
If Bivol, if it's the same exact fight, I see Bivol winning, but unless they rob it again, there's really nothing you could do.
What'd you make of Bivol and Beterbiev, who you felt won in that fight?
To be honest with you, I think when it comes more down to boxing, I think Dmitry Bivol won that fight. From probably when it comes to damage, Benavidez was probably landing the harder blows. But you know what? I feel like Bivol did enough to win the fight.
Thank you to everyone who saw this video.